Hey guys, Jason from tastewithjace.com. Now, my videos aren't sponsored, so bear with me. Well, actually, today's video is sponsored by Banana, because when you go out drinking, make sure you eat one of these before you go to bed. That'll help you with the hangover. Anyway, you guys know me as the food guy. I love talking about food. I love sharing my experiences about food. Food's my thing, especially in the Chicagoland area. But my buddy over at Wrestling with Whiskey decided to send me a mystery 5-pack of bourbon. We're going to try them out today. I'm going to share my experiences with you, and hopefully, maybe I'll guess one right. Who knows? Now, for those of you that don't know, the Wrestling with Whiskey page is run by Rehwoldt. He's a pretty serious bourbon guy, knows his stuff. So this is going to be a really interesting take. Make sure you follow his page at Wrestling with Whiskey on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. He's got a website. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Now let's get to it. I've got here pour number 1, all nice and ready. It's got a thinner viscosity. Clove. A quick burnt rubber in the beginning, but it fades away very quickly. Let's see how this goes. Very smooth, nutty, vanilla, oak. I like it. Very light. We'll see what this one is. I'm gonna go with Buffalo Trace on this one. Who knows? I'm the Scotch guy. We'll see. We'll see what Matt says. Let's head on to number 2. All right, we've got pour number 2 ready. As you can see here, pour number 2. Of the 5 that I was given, this number 2 is the darkest. Not sure if that means anything, but I'll let you know in a moment. This one is immediately burnt sugars, burnt caramel. I've had this one before. Very, very sweet and vibrant. I have a feeling I'll drink this one post-dinner. Let's see. Cheers. Very full body. Very heavy viscosity on this one. Color is beautiful. You can taste the burnt sugars, the burnt caramel on this one very strongly. This one would taste excellent as an old-fashioned. Through the power of pour editing, got myself an old-fashioned with that number 2. Let's see how it goes. Perfect. I'm excited to know what this number 2 is, because it makes a very excellent old-fashioned. And I hope it's not anything exclusive or very expensive, because then I'm going to feel pretty bad about this. But if I were to guess, let's go with New Riff on number 2. Alright, we're down to number 3. Here you go. Number 3. Got my pour out. We got another viscous one I see. Very light. It's got that sugar and vanilla. Got a fruitiness to it. I like it. Cheers. Let's go. I'm gonna go with, this one's a little bit rough going down, a little spicy. Reminds me of a very peaty Scotch. It's light, but smoky. This one's got to have a higher ABV, I think. Just a big spice going down. This one's very good. This is a sippable one. You sip it in between your courses for dinner, I would say. A total shot in the dark. but gonna go with maybe like a Knob. This is like a Knob Creek or maybe that Colonel Taylor one. I've had that one recently. It kind of reminds me of that, but I haven't had it enough to exactly remember perfectly. But we'll see. We'll see how I did. I'm excited to know what this one is. I would enjoy sipping this one at home. All right, we're gonna go on to our last one, number 5. Here we go. Got this one right there. It's got heavy viscosity on this one. I don't think I named number 4. Let's go with Wild Turkey on that one. You know I'm getting all these wrong anyway. It doesn't matter. Anyway. This one's light. It's got a burn. Reminds me of the one I had earlier. The burn comes in, and then it flattens out very quickly, except this one's quicker. It's just like fresh rubber with a burn rubber. Cheers. Very spicy. Like black peppery. Nice burn going down. The burn lingers. I'm gonna guess this is a higher ABV one. Reminds me of a Bardstown I had recently. Could also be a Weller. I don't know. Me guessing this is who knows what, you know? But in any case, it's delicious. I want to thank Matt Rehwoldt for Wrestling with Whiskey for sending me these wonderful 5 bourbons. All of them were great. The second one was perfect for an old fashioned. And make sure you're following his page at Wrestling with Whiskey, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment. Link to his video is going to be in the comment section so you know which ones he gave me.
Hey Jace, thanks so much for letting me give you this little blind bourbon challenge. See what you thought of these without seeing any labels and having any preconceived notions. That's always the best part of blind tasting. So, I know you gave me some scotches. Those will be coming to the Wrestling with Whiskey YouTube very, very soon. But for right now, let's get on to the results of your blind and see how you did. So number 1 was a store pick single barrel, and one of my favorite bottles to get as a store pick because there's so much flavor and stuff going on, and they're actually kind of rare for a lot of stores to get them. And so that was an Eagle Rare store pick from Chicago's Warehouse Liquors. Now, if you know anything about Warehouse Liquors, they've got a great reputation, a big following. Gene, their owner, has a great palate, and so I was lucky to get one of these. And I hope you enjoyed 10-year single barrel selection. There's always a lot going on in these. Number 2 was from a relatively new company, but if you know anything about me, I'm a huge proponent of theirs and a lot of the things they're doing. This was a finished bourbon, and the way they finished these was for 18 months was the length. And what did they finish in? Well, that's our answer. Because number 2 is Bardstown Bourbon Company's Prisoner series. Release. In a series of collaborations they've done with Copper and Kings, with Chateau de Labade, Armagnac, so on and so forth, and with the Prisoner Wine Company. So they took, what was it, I believe 9-year-old Tennessee bourbon, finished for 18 months in Prisoner wine, red wine barrels. And you can totally get that wine influence on there. Drink it again and you'll absolutely taste it. Number 3 is a fun one for me because I actually really, really like it. It's not anything out of this world, but it was a fun kind of bottle from bourbon's recent, past, recent history. And that's because it has now been discontinued. And so number 3 was Kentucky's best kept secret, or should I say worst kept secret for a long time. That's the Heaven Hill 6-year bottled in bond. For a long time, this was a Kentucky-only release. And it was always a Kentucky-only release. And it was on shelves for, even when I got this, right before it got discontinued, I think I got it for $12.99 a bottle. And think about all the things you get in today's bourbon market. It's bottled in bond, which is an awesome certification. It's age stated, 6 years old. You don't see a lot of age statements. And when you do, the price goes up. I mean, there's even something a year old or 7-year that's $40-$50 that I've seen, for things like that, or even less sometimes. 4-year products, can be $40-$50. So this at 11, 12, $15 even was a steal. And so it's a fun little snippet from bourbon's recent past. Now, we're getting into the harder to find stuff. Number 5 is another Buffalo Trace product. Now, Buffalo Trace has a history of having very, very good products, but that are very, very hard to find. And then when you get into their limited editions, it makes it even harder. Now, this one they experimented with, and this is a very famous line, but a very experimental release, because this was the E.H. Taylor Amaranth Grain of the Gods. This was a special release last year. This is from the E.H. Taylor line, so it is bottled and bond, 100 proof. And instead of using rye or wheat as the flavoring grain, they decided to use amaranth, which is almost like a type of wheat, but it does taste much different than rye or wheat. It's to me, I always thought it felt like it tasted in the middle, like a spicy wheat. It has that soft sweetness of wheat, but has a little bit of that rye spice, that peppery spice. So this one now is going for a lot on the secondary market, but if you're able to get it at retail, it is about $70. So another hard to find but elegant product from Buffalo Trace. And number 6, the main event, if you will, comes to us from a legendary distilling family, the Noes. And the Noes are obviously known for their work at Jim Beam. And probably one of, if not the most famous No, was Booker No, who brought us Booker's, which is the barrel strength, I don't know what you'd call it, small batch line, that's it, from Jim Beam, along with Knob Creek, Basil Hayden's, and Baker's. That's the kind of the small batch collection from Jim Beam, and Booker's was their big barrel-proof option. So since his passing, they have had some anniversary editions, and I was able to be lucky enough to pick up the most recent from the other couple of years ago, the 30th anniversary of Booker's. This is a blend of 9 to 16-year-old barrel-proof bourbon, hand-selected by Fred No, Booker's son, and blended together at cask strength. This is one that I had as one of my favorite noses of all bourbons, and I was very lucky enough to get. These are hard to find on the secondary as well, so I hope you enjoyed. But those are the results. Those are the 5. I hope you really, really enjoyed those, and look forward to more delving into bourbon from you, Jace. Thanks, bud.
Hey, well there you have it. Matt revealed to us our bourbons and I was shocked. The store pick was an absolute great one by Warehouse Liquors. The Bardstown Prisoner bourbon was one that surprised me. I noticed it right away with the color, and to my surprise it tasted great as an old-fashioned. Considering how exclusive it is, maybe not something you'd want to do, but everyone can enjoy bourbon the way they like. The Heaven Hill was a good one. That's if you're able to get it at the price where they're selling it at, it's a great bang for your buck. I truly enjoyed that one as well. When we went down to number 4, that was the one that was most reminiscent of a Scotch to me. And after being told that it's milled with amaranth, I can see why. Scotch is made from 10 to 20% of malt barley, so I can see the similarities in the two. And then the last one, the heavy hitter, as you will, that was the Booker's 30th anniversary. That one was Matt's favorite. I wouldn't call that one my favorite. Bardstown, number 2, was my favorite of the 5 that I tasted through. But the number 5, the Booker's, I'd put that at number 2 of the 5 that I tasted. Surprisingly, I had guessed number 5 as the Bardstown. But in any case, thanks for watching the video. Thank you to Matt at Wrestling with Whiskey for the bourbon selections. This was, I hope you guys enjoyed. Perhaps you guys learned something. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff on both of our channels. And hopefully you'll see more of us in the future. Cheers.